Welcome to the Seekers for Success podcast. I'm your host, Greg Todd. Thank you, as always, for joining me, my friends. So, this morning I had a staff meeting with my team. There were 15 full time VAs on the staff meeting. Something I shared with them, and I was like, you know what? I think this would be really beneficial for you to hear as well. And that is about how are you using AI today? And I explained to them that I think that there's different levels of using AI. Um, and I challenged everyone on my team that I need you all to get to the fourth level, the highest level. Because if you don't, then, you know, things are changing. And, the reality is that they might not be around if we don't all use AI to this level. So I'm going to be very honest with you guys. I told them that I want us to double our client base, and I want to double that within the next 6 months. Now, we've had that division of the company only around for a year, and it's done well. We've gone from a brand new agency to, I think we're at 38 clients or something like that, which is good. But the reality is that the market is changing. Things are changing so fast. And I was like, hey, we need to double, but we need to double and not even add any more full-time VAs. Now, as a leader, that's what I have to say because it's the truth. That's what I want, and that's how we're going to stay a financially healthy company. With that said, I challenge them, and I'm challenging you to just do some analysis right now on where are you with regards to how you're using AI. Because I said to them, if I'm asking you guys to double the amount of clients that we have in this company, and I'm not planning on hiring any more full-time staff to do that, that means that either A, if they continue to do things they're doing right now, that means I'm going to be working them double, which I don't think they'd be very happy about, or B, they are going to do things differently by making sure they're at the top level of how you are using AI. Okay. And the example that I gave them before I explained these four levels to you is I gave them an example. So there was one VA that was on a call. His name is Lyndon. He's probably editing this video right now. And when Lyndon started with me, 10 years ago is when he started with me. And I actually asked him to unmute himself. And I was asking him to tell the other VAs, people that some of them have only been with us for 2 months or 3 months, how long it would take him to do certain things that he does today. And so we were talking about, programs. I probably created over 50 programs in the 10 years I've been doing this. And he was saying that, to create a program would be about a 6 to 8 week endeavor. And I was explaining to them that last week I created 5 new programs in 1 week. And so Lyndon's like, yeah, it takes me like not even quarter of the time to edit and make the videos the way that I like them and the way that the audience will receive them, versus what it used to take 10 years ago. And that's not because Lyndon has necessarily gotten better. He is better, obviously, but that has to be more because he's using tools that are allowing him to do things faster. So we use as an example that here's someone that's working for 10 years is able to give us quadruple the output that he gave us before, probably in half the time. And it's just because he's using new tools. With that said, there are additional tools and new tools that are coming out that are making life easier on us if we make the decision to use them. So I say this to you all because I'm going to tell you the 4 levels of AI here in a second. But, do you even have enough play? Do you even have enough um, uh, time within your week, or you've given yourself that flexibility to say, I'm going to learn what I need to use in order for me to be using AI to its fullest extent, and what level are you at right now? So let's talk about those levels. Level 0 is you're not using AI at all. You know of it. You know of ChatGPT. You've heard of Claude. Maybe you've heard of Gemini. You've heard of these things and you hear AI is revolutionizing the world, but you don't use it at all. Okay. That means you're at level 0. Okay. You're at the bottom level. You're not using AI in any way. I mean, I hope for you that you are in an occupation and a workplace to where, I don't know, it's not being used and you have a very, 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 um, massively in demand work. And by the way, there are some people that you really don't need it. If you are an employee and you are a plumber, or you're an employee and you're an electrician, honestly, I don't really see why you necessarily need it. You are in trade work and you are an employee. Now, if you are the employer and the business owner and you are responsible for finances and operations and all those other things, okay, I can totally, you being at level zero is unacceptable. But for somebody that is, you're the tradesperson and that's it, okay, you're at level zero, you're at level zero. It just happens to be your job. For me, I can't do that. I'm an entrepreneur. There's no way. I mean, I can't. Um, so that's level zero. Okay, level one is you are using, whether it's chat, you're using Claude, you're using Gemini, you're using AI tools strictly for consumption. You're using it to search things. You're using it to decide, what am I going to do when I go on vacation? You're using it to decide, how should I set up my kid's birthday party? You're using it to decide, oh my gosh, I have a really tough conversation I have to have with someone. What would I say? You're using it in a very, I'm not saying a trivial way. Maybe that's not the best word to use, but you're using it more for information, and information that's not going to make you any additional money. Okay, that's level one. To me, hey, a lot of people aren't even doing that. So good for you if you're doing that. But now, if you want to actually use AI to make you money and to save you money, you have to be at a level two. A level two is where you are using AI, but you're using AI to be able to improve your productivity. And you're using AI to be able to replicate something you've already done, but turn it into something else. But it still requires your input. I'll give you a great example. If, like, I'm doing this podcast right now, right? Okay. Someone that's at level two would be using, say, I'm going to take this podcast. This podcast is not AI. This is Gregory Todd speaking. Okay. So I'm speaking. I am going to take this video, and if I went to an AI platform like Descript, I could take this video and I can now have this video be transcribed. I don't have to pay. I used to pay a full-time VA, full-time hours, 40 hours a week, just to transcribe all of my videos. I don't have to do that anymore. I can just take this video and I can put it into a software, and that software transcribes it for me automatically. I can then take that transcription and I can turn that transcription into a blog. I can turn that transcription into captions. I can turn that transcription into emails, right? I can use the transcription and then put it into ChatGPT or put it into Claude, and now it's allowing my work to spread. Okay, that's level two. So level zero, I'm not using AI at all. Level one, I'm using it, but I'm using it for consumption and I'm using it for information. I'm basically using AI to replace what I used to do at Google. Okay, level three is I'm now using it and I'm using it to allow my stuff to spread. Level four is where I'm using it agentically. I'm using it and I'm creating agents. Okay, here's of the level three, the lowest level of agent is where I'm creating a custom GPT. I'm creating projects in Claude. I'm saying, okay, I want specific activities done, and I want this thing to work on my behalf, and we're going to do a specific activity with it. Level three for me would be how I'm helping my clients write books in 3 days. We're able to help nearly 50 clients in 2025 write their first book. Many did their second, did their third. We even had one person, I think, did their fourth book in 1 year and become bestsellers, make, a couple grand, use it now as a great way of bringing people into their world. Okay, that is where you're using it agentically. Okay, you're creating mini agents to actually do specific work for you. You're turning AI into actual employees. You're going to take care of all my budget stuff. You're going to take care of all my social media. You're going to take care of this. You're going to help me with writing out my emails. You're going to help me with doing my text messages. You're going to help me with, okay, you kind of get the picture, right? Agentically also means I'm going to have you help me respond back to people. Okay, you're going to give me the words to say. You understand the context behind the conversation. That's what I'm using AI for. That's level 3. The top level is where you are using AI in the way that I used VAs in 2015, 2016. And you're using it to work on your behalf when you are not working. So you're using it as agents, but you're using it to work on your behalf. Meaning that 2016, when I hired Luis, Dexter, and Lyndon, those are my 3 VAs. I hired them full-time before I made a penny in any of these consulting businesses. I knew what I wanted, and I knew that I didn't have the time. I was running my other businesses, so I needed help, and I was willing to invest some money into getting the help, and it paid off. So that's good. But when I was working with them, they're in the Philippines. And when they're in the Philippines, they are 12 to 13 hours difference than me. So what I would say to them is, look, when I am sleeping, you need to be working. Okay? That means if I'm going to bed at 9 o'clock, you should be waking up at 9 a.m. and you should be working, and you should be working until I wake up. And then when I wake up, you go to bed. So we're running 24 hours a day, but these are physical people doing this. So I had these 3, Luis, Dexter, Lyndon, they're working, I'm sleeping. When they're sleeping, I'm working. Okay, AI needs to be doing that for you if you're at level 4. When I'm sleeping, these activities, these agents are working on my behalf. They work all night. That's if someone is now calling your clinic and now you have people picking up, but they're AI agents. That's somebody texting you at 1 a.m. because their back is flared up or their kid is about to lose their ish, or whatever, and they don't know who to call, what to do. That's actually an AI agent that's talking on your behalf. That's, every single day for me in my Stripe accounts now. I have, I used to have someone that would pull from the Stripe accounts and pull it over into a Google, sheet. Well, now I have AI just doing that. Go ahead, call, it's called a call, right? Call my Stripe account, take that Stripe account. I have my Google Sheets open, put it into the Google Sheet. Do this, do that, do this. It's doing all of it. I've given access. You take that, you put it over here, and then all I'm doing is reading reports. I don't need a bookkeeper anymore. I don't need this person anymore. I don't need that person anymore. And that is level 4. And when you get to level 4, then you actually can double, triple, quadruple your output. And you can do it. It's limitless with the amount of time that you can collapse. Because really, it just comes down to how many things do I really need to do anymore? That's really what it comes down to. And so, the thing you really need to be thinking about is some of you are listening to this and you are business owners. What level of AI are you operating at? Are you operating at level 0? That's unacceptable if you're a business owner. You are going to get crushed. You're going to get crushed. You should be operating at minimum as a business owner at level 2, minimum. Okay. You shouldn't just be operating at level 1 where you're using it for consumption and for entertainment purposes. You should be operating at a minimum level 2. When you get to that level 3 and level 4, now you're using AI the right way. What level are you operating at? That's my question to you. And it might make sense where you're operating at right now because of where you're at. But if you are a business owner, you should not be doing that. So here's what I would like to do. What I would like to do is, for those of you that know, Greg, I'm using it well. I just want you to continue to use it well. But I know that there's many of you that you want to get to level 4. at least level 3, but you're nowhere near that. You don't even know where to start. What I would like to do is I would like for you to reach out to my team and reach out to myself. And what we are going to do is we are going to do calls with you. Okay. You just comment AI and you're going to send AI from the podcast to 813-534-6453. And what we're going to do is we're going to give you a link for you to get on a call with us and we'll interview you about your business. Okay. Let's leave this for business owners. Okay. Interview you about your business and basically take that interview and we are going to do a deep dive on what the processes of your business is and where you could be integrating level 4 AI into your business so that you don't have to do this anymore. Or you have somebody that's doing it right now, they don't have to do it anymore. You know, recently there was one part of my business that I was having somebody like do all my accounting. I don't need to pay that person to do this anymore. AI, honestly, what AI gives me is so much better. And if you're listening, I love you. But what AI's giving me is so much better. So much better, so much cleaner, so clear, exactly where we're at financially, exactly where we're at in this company financially. It is so clean, so clear, and it does it automatically. I don't need to pay somebody $40 an hour to do this anymore. So what is it in your business that AI should be doing and it's not doing? Either you're doing it or somebody else is doing it. So that's what I want to help you with. Comment AI from the podcast. Go ahead and text that to 813-534-6453. We'll talk to you, see what we can do and how we can help, or at least give you the resources once we hear, hey, this is what you're doing. You could be using this and then you don't need that anymore. You keep using that and don't need that anymore. So something I want to do because I really want to see you guys win. I mean, that's my goal. And the minute I can't do that anymore, I need to get out of this. I'll just go right to my rental properties. It's fine. I'll make that my money way. But I know that in this world, I truly, like last week, I had a couple days off. I'm like, people really need what it is that we have. And we're cutting edge with this. And people need to get on top of this so that they can actually make some profit in their business. And I know this is the way to go for them. So anyways, if you want help with that, text us AI from podcast to 813-534-6453. We will give you a link. You'll book a call. We'll talk with you, figure out what's going on in your business, what your processes are, and then we'll give you some recommendations of things you can do. You decide whether you want to do it or not. All right. So anyways, much love to you guys. Till next time.